The illusion of $1 million, exploring the changing landscape of dream fulfillment. The illusion of $1 million, exploring the changing landscape of dream fulfillment. Aspirations of quitting your job, buying a dream house, or going on an extravagant adventure may seem within reach with $1 million. But in a world where prices are soaring and dreams are evolving, is $1 million truly enough to turn fantasies into reality?
What does $1 million buy? When asked the question, what would you do with $1 million? Most people tend to give similar answers. Quit my job, buy my dream house, or go traveling. People often think that having $1 million would make all their dreams come true. In reality, $1 million may not really be that much money. 20 years ago, it might have been possible to fulfill these dreams. However, things are not so easy today.
In most industrialized countries, prices for everything from food to transport to university fees have steadily increased over the years. Housing prices in particular have risen greatly. The main reason is that the population has increased, becoming very dense in certain areas, but there are fewer homes available for sale or rent. For example, in the US, the average price of a new home in 1990 was $149,800. The average price in 2010 was $272,900. With increases like that, you can see why owning property is considered a good long-term investment.
Housing in city centers also costs more than ever before. People used to move from the city center to the outer city neighborhoods or suburbs to escape overcrowding and noise. Today, many are moving back because they want to be closer to their workplace. Since space is limited in these areas, supply has not caught up with rising demand, and prices have gone up as a result. For example, it is nearly impossible to find a place in London's expensive Mayfair district, or Manhattan in New York City, for $1 million. Even countries that traditionally have a lower cost of living, like India or Brazil, have seen property prices rise dramatically. A 2,000 square foot, 186 square meter apartment in Mumbai's southern neighborhoods can cost more than $3 million, the same as a two-bedroom flat in central London.
Inflation is another important reason for the rise in the cost of living. Over the last 150 years, as prices have gone up, the value of money has gone down, so we now need more money to buy things. In 1913, for example, $50,000 had about as much buying power as $1 million does today. Of course, people now earn more money than they did 150 years ago, but they also spend more on necessities such as food, medicine, and housing. Due to this increased cost of living and a tendency for younger generations to spend more, people are actually saving less than ever before.
In order to live well after you retire, you should begin saving as early as possible. Experts suggest that after you stop working, you will need 70 to 75% of your salary to live on every month. In other words, if you make $3,000 per month while working, you will need between $2,100 and $2,250 per month to live on during retirement. This calculation assumes that you have no mortgage on a house to continue paying or other major expenses like your children's university education. However, more retired people now rent their housing because they can't afford to buy a home, so they will pay more in housing costs over time. People also tend to spend more on healthcare because they live longer. Many people in developed countries now live into their 80s or 90s. Due to increased demand for housing, higher inflation, and a longer life expectancy, $1 million may not be enough to live on. Of course, where you live and how long you live will influence how far $1 million can go. To be able to retire early, travel the world, and build your dream home, you may have to be a millionaire many times over.
Summary. The average cost of living has increased significantly in most industrialized countries, particularly in housing. The population has grown, leading to a dense population and fewer homes available for sale or rent. This has led to increased demand for property, making it a good long-term investment. In cities like London and New York City, the average price of a new home has increased, making it difficult to find a place for $1 million. Inflation has also contributed to the rise in the cost of living, as people now earn more money than they did 150 years ago but spend more on necessities such as food, medicine, and housing. As a result, people are saving less than ever before. To live well after retirement, it is recommended to start saving as early as possible, as it is estimated that 70 to 75% of one's salary will be needed to live on every month. However, more retired people rent their housing due to financial constraints, and people tend to spend more on healthcare due to their longer life expectancies. The location and duration of life also influence the amount of money $1 million can go towards.
This content is mainly for the purpose of learning and expanding your English vocabulary. We are learning American English. Thank you for taking the time to watch. Thank you for considering subscribing to see more exciting videos.